Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare two laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello race fans and welcome to Oran Park, Australia for the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. We are at the half point of this bumper season where we have seen two rivals in the shape of Kieran Harrison and Carl Janssen going head to head for this Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. My name is Peter Mackay and joining me in the commentary box tonight is Sam Fitzpatrick and in the production booth is Sumuli Kumo. And Sam, we've been to some incredible venues over the season so far, but here at Oran Park, this is more like an outdoor Skeletrix track.
Yeah, there are a few kart circuits, I think, littered around this circuit. Lots of different configurations. We're using the biggest one, but you're right, it's still pretty tiny around this circuit. The vast majority of the circuit overtaking will be very tricky. In fact, there's not really any easy overtaking chances, so it will be a challenge to say the least. Hopefully the drivers will keep it nice and clean out there, but sure going to be busy.
It will be indeed. So looking at our championship points, confirming after two really strong meetings the last two times out for Carl Janssen, both at VIR and at Road Atlanta, and he edges just 12 points ahead of Kieran Harrison in the number one car, our defending champion, don't forget. Wojciech Swiridowicz is not done yet. We're only at the halfway point, remember, and plenty of points on offer. And Damien Harris as well. And Sam, Damien, he's been on a bit of rich form of late and absolutely dominated race 3 last time out.
Yeah, that was very much an overdue race win. Yeah, he's certainly dangerous. I mean, Cedric is a terrific driver. We've only had 6 out of 16 meetings. You have a drop score as well for the first 13 meetings. You can't drop the end of the season. So I'd say anyone's in play. I mean, honestly, I think unless you're maybe 300 points behind at this point, maybe it's pushing it a bit, you got loads of time to bring back the points. We often see that with these seasons where, yeah, just a couple of non-finishers can absolutely wreck your advantage that you have in the amateur category. Ben Gregory at the top. Mark Woodhouse keeping him honest. These guys are a little bit more dominant, but Tim Perry, who is leading the prototype P2 championship actually in the amateur category. So Tim's a very strong driver. Sergei Glazkov also has come on strong recently. Mark Johnston we know is strong. So yeah, plenty of competitive drivers in both the professional and the amateur categories. Trying to duke it out for the title. Of course, we've got this round, then Bathurst, and then we've got a 2 weeks break. So you do want to have a nice little end to this kind of first segment to the season.
You do indeed, and of course we're on our Australian part of the ARLTC World Tour, if you like, here at Oran Park. Quite a different prospect to Bathurst. Of course, as you can see, the confines of this circuit very, very, very tight, very narrow. Overtaking is going to be tricky, and keeping it out the fence is going to be tricky as well. And with our big bolstered grids that we have here in ARLTC, it's not going to be easy. And you can see right now, the drivers listed in the final stages of qualifying, being able to get a clean lap in here is not entirely straightforward, really. As you can see, a lot of problems for the drivers to get a clean run at things. Now, sadly, this circuit in the real world is actually no longer with us. It was closed 10 years ago to make way for a housing development, which is a pretty depressing end to a much more exciting prospect to have a motor racing circuit. But there's been a big part of Australian motorsport for many years, since the early 1960s, in fact. And a certain Alan Jones actually won here in Australian GT back in the early 80s in a Porsche 935. Now, driving a Porsche 935, and particularly a well-developed one at that, around here is a terrifying prospect, Sam.
You can see in these TCR machines, it's pretty frantic anyway. So anything with kind of more than 300 brake horsepower is sure going to be tricky to get around this circuit. Yeah, I mean, I don't recall ever watching too many races. I mean, it was kind of demolished about a decade ago, I believe. So it's very much still permanent on iRacing, and that's the fantastic thing about iRacing, the fact that these circuits, which maybe do change over time, they've got an infinite scan of it though, so we can use it forever. Hopefully Rockingham in the UK will get similar treatments in the near future. They have scanned it, so iRacing, if you're watching along, Rockingham please, we would very much like that. What is Janssen goes up into second position. And Janssen's been quite poor in qualifying so far this season. Qualifying's kind of been his weakness. Race 1 though, he's been terrific. Like he's extremely good at making up those places in race 1, but that's very positive signs for the Swede.
It certainly is, yes. And of course his championship rival, Kieran Harrison, currently 77 thousandths of a second ahead, but he's got a little bit of traffic here, which will be his last flying lap. And it looks like, yep, Kieran Harrison backs out of it. He doesn't want to get in the way of his teammate Roman Bokler. And whoop, Carl Janssen's going a bit of an agricultural route around, so he will not set any faster time. So looking like we're getting the more or less the crux of our grid positions at this moment. Looking at Mikael Garcia on camera at the moment, just 0.4 of a second off pole, but 13th on the grid, and the times, they are awfully tight tonight.
Oh yeah, they are. This is one of the tightest of the season. And it's plenty of corners as well. I mean, it's a short circuit, but even Monza doesn't have many corners, you know. So you can kind of understand why it'd be so close there. But there's a lot of places to mess up around this place, so that is impressive from the drivers. Simmons is just coming up to the line at the moment. I don't think he's got any good sector times, to be fair, George Simmons, but he's the last one of the kind of top drivers, or top 10 drivers, who is trying to put in a lap time, but that is the checker flag, and we advance straight over to race 1. And yeah, we are going to have our 40 cars very soon take the green flag, sorry.
They are indeed. So confirming Kieran Harrison on pole position by less than a tenth of a second from Carl Janssen, the two championship rivals. Row 2 will be George Simmons and Jason Cooper. Row 3 will be Marcel Tai and Attila Tassi. Row 4 sees Jack Sedgwick and Damien Harris, followed by Daniel Nagy, Roman Bokler, Oystein Hereford and Igor Shirikov rounding out the 6th row of the grid. On row 7 will be Mikael Garcia alongside Marcel Fritsch. Mark Johnson starts in 15th position alongside World Rallycross star Jake Robertson. 17th will be Hub Etterman, followed by Mark Woodhouse, Nathan Davies, Adam Bath, Tim Perry, Ben Gregory, Sergei Glazkov and Robert Rund. Rounding out row 12. Row 13 sees Luke Kidsley and Toby Ward, followed by Jay Austin, Farron Glover, Arjen Bakker, Jack Tingy, Adam Hadfield, John Billingsley, Martin Shirley, Andrew Woodhouse. Great to see Woody back as well there in 34th. Corentin Guinez and Vasily Zaitsev starting from the back, along with Fraser Smith, Stu Abbott and Andrew Brema. Sam, there is some pretty big names at the back of the pack there who are, I believe, are serving qualifying bans. Is that correct?
Yeah, so they'll be starting from the pits for this race. Anyone who has to start from the pits has to not do qualifying. Otherwise, there's a big hole in the grid and it doesn't look quite so good, particularly relevant for rolling starts. Not so bad for these standing starts, but it's yeah, still good for those drivers not to do qualifying. And yeah, they'll be getting lots of places. We've got quite a big reverse grid though for race 2. We've got 33 cars reversed, and that's always the mission for those drivers starting from the pits. Get within the reverse grid, and then you're going to have a great shot at winning race 2. So that's what those guys will be hoping for.
That's a good goal to have. And of course, you've only got to get just into it and then you're right ready to go. But the lights are being prepared. Kieran Harrison poised on pole position. The lights are up and out they go. We are racing here at Oran Park in the ARL-TC Championship. It's a great start for Kieran Harrison in the HM Engineering Audi, but Carl Janssen, his championship rival, just tucks in behind there. But look at the start for Kieran Harrison. He's I think he's in the mood to just get a move on and clear off. He's had some bad luck over the last couple of rounds, and one way to avoid the carnage, clear off at the front.
Definitely great start for Jason Cooper as well to get past George Simmons. Such an important start, one of the most important starts for race 1 all season long here, and that was a nice one there from Cooper. Meanwhile, Bokler already up a couple of places. I think that's Cedric just going up the inside of Harris right there, so this would be a big move for Cedric if he could pull it off. They've been alongside for a few corners there. Fantastic racing between these two drivers, and this might carry on. Good respect from these two, 4th and 5th in the championship at the moment, and they are not giving an inch. They're losing each other loads of time. That might just be a 1x as well, picked up by Cedric. Great defense though from Harrison. That's almost as impressive as his race 2 drive last time, race 3 drive that he won last time out. But here comes Cedric back down the inside. Oh, that was bold. He's going to go deep. Great cutback again from Harris, and whilst they're losing each other a lot of time, probably going to lose each other a few more places. This is brilliant to watch. Cedric may well lose out another place here to Roman Bokler in 7th.
Yeah, Cedric he had no other choice but to commit to that, and Damien Harris kind of saw it coming, just held back a fraction, let him push through, and then got the switch back nice and easily. But you're absolutely right, Sam. That little exchange there between Damien Harris and Jack Cedric has really kind of put them off the pace of the front runners. Oh, we've got a few cars going off track here as well. It's so technical. Sergei Glazkov got a lot of damage there on his car, but it's so technical in the back part of the circuit. You can see from our SDK Gaming graphic there on the top right hand side of your screen, the little M&Ms, they're nearly all landed on top of each other.
Yeah, of course, with the figure of 8, we're also visiting Suzuka later on in the season as well, but a couple of figure 8 circuits on this calendar. Yeah, so yeah, that was Perry and Glazkov, who, remember, are 2 strong drivers in the Amateur Championship. I think 3rd and 5th in the Amateur Championship, if I recall correctly. So that is a big shame for them. Maybe we could get a replay of that a little bit later on in the event. See what's happened between those two. Ben Gregory, top of the amateur drivers at the moment, and he is wasn't a very good qualifying for Gregory, but he is up 3 places. Also, Adam Hadfield starting 31st. He's up into 21st. That's remarkably good for Hadfield. You can see he's right on the back of these guys. Usually a bit of a pace advantage over these couple of drives, but not always faster than Gregory, to be fair. But Hadfield seems to be in a good mood. His teammate Cooper up in the top 3 at the moment, and Hadfield moves into the top 20 at least now.
Brilliant stuff. It's not easy to make positions here at Oran Park, so great to gain so many so early on. So looking at Corentin Guinez, who started from the pit lane in 27th position already, so really making moves up the grid. So that means, of course, then that Guinez, he's into the reverse grid spot. So mission accomplished after 3 minutes, Sam.
Yeah, he needs to slow down. What we saw with Ivo Lauscher back on Sunday, he got into the reverse grid pole and then he continued gaining places, the madman. And he, in the end, didn't do very well in race 2. Well, he got 2nd place, but he lost to his teammate. Here comes Simmons. He's kind of come back at Cooper. I really thought that would be done and dusted right there for Cooper once he got that move done in lap 1. Anything but. Simmons with a great response. He's back up into 3rd place, and I'll give him hope that maybe he could challenge Janssen as well for an overtake. Back comes back comes Cooper. I can't really see this one working out though. And Simmons does well to fend it off. Great drive as well from Marcel Tai so far, keeping right up with these guys a bit.
He is indeed, yeah, he is right. This has been a really strong run so far from Marcel Tai, and buoyed by Damien Harris and Roman Bokler kind of knocking lumps out of each other. Now Daniel Nagy, there he is. He's up to 9th position, but he's got the attentions of Shurikov right behind him, and he's got to think more behind rather than forward right now as well. Mikael Garcia, good start for him as well, in 11th position for Frozen Speed Full Send Racing. And goodness me, it's so tight around here at Oran Park. You've got to pick your moment carefully if you want to move up the field.
Yeah, you got to nail 2 or 3 corners at the back end of the lap just to get close enough for kind of like a decent slipstream down the pit straight, and then to go for a move. And that turn one, it's so quick that it's very tricky to go for a move. It's like a bit like Barcelona turn 1, where there's such a small braking area that it's very tricky to really make much of it. Hadfield ahead of Gregory now. Ooh, a bit further back, Guinez gaining a couple of places, and Tassi as well, who may have just hit DeBacca up the rear. And Tassi now running wide himself, I think. Oh, come on guys, don't get too aggressive. Tassi and Guinez, come on guys, you've got to work together. There's no point in bouncing one another. Go get the guys ahead, because they're 2 very quick drivers, of course, as we have learnt in the past. Fraser Smith tries to go the long way round, but he's got Glover on his inside. They go over the bridge. Oh, that's contact. And there wasn't a whole lot Smith could do about that. Floors the throttle. And he does well to hold into that side, but he loses another place now to Mr. Andrew Woodhouse. Yeah,
Woody in the Alpha Touring Car team, or Scuderia AlphaTauri Touring Car. Gone ahead there. Great to have Woody back with us in the number 223 car. But Fraser Smith right now, if he finished where he was right now, he would get reverse grid pole, but he's not satisfied with that. He's thinking, I'm going to sling it around the outside of Woody here. And, well, Andrew's saying, you are not my favourite deputy, Fraser.
Oh, there's been a crash just ahead. I don't know what's going on there, but Zaitsev and Austin have collided. And there was one other, was it Glazkov again? Yeah, I think it may have been Glazkov again, so we'll have to get a replay of that. I just looked away there, and in the foreground, there was an almighty shunt between these guys. So, let's see. I think it was the 286, if anything, who came across slightly. And that one would have been... I'm not quite sure who that was. Maybe it was Jay Austin. I'm not quite sure. Who came across and, yeah, into the pit wall. It's an unusual pit wall that we have around this circuit, and that could have been a whole lot worse in the end. Only 3 cars being compromised.
Yeah, that could have created quite a big pile-up. Now, back at the front, the front two, the championship rivals, Kieran Harrison and Carl Janssen, they are breaking away slightly. And now, Janssen on the last lap around has set the fastest lap of the race. And Harrison and Janssen, the only 2 guys who seem to be able to get into that 1 minute 10 barrier consistently. But I tell you what, Sam, so far, we're about 1/3 distance. This has been vintage Harrison so far. Exactly his style. Smooth, consistent, and not putting a foot wrong.
Yeah, and these drivers do get a bonus point as well for scoring 0 incidents. I did kind of fret when we saw Cedric go off on the first lap, picking up a 1x, because I reckon Harrison Janssen won't pick up a 1x in this race. You know, they're not going to track extend too much. This should be an all-right circuit in terms of track extensions. There's not really any runoff, so there's no advantage to extend the circuit. So I imagine these guys will be getting that bonus point as well, which is always very nice to do. Of course, also for every 10 incidents you get 3 penalty points, and also if you get 16 incidents you get a drive-through penalty. Not such a big penalty around this circuit, but still something you want to avoid. But yeah, certainly compared to Spa, which we visited in GT Trophy on Tuesday, really not too much of an issue those off checks around this place.
Yeah, Spa, and of course, if you get a drive-through at Spa and you're on the endurance pits, goodness me, it's like that.
Yeah.
It takes forever. you feel, even though when you're on the speed limit, you think, if I squeeze the throttle just that little bit harder, I might be able to cheat the limit a little bit more.
Well, when you go on the inside of turn 1, I always race it for no reason, and it's super tight, and everyone always crashes there. But yeah, you do just want to save that extra couple of tenths, even though you just lost 50 odd seconds.
I've tried that as well. I tried it once and thought never again to try and get that tight corner. But yeah, brilliant to watch the Apex Racing League GT Trophy opening round on Tuesday. I did the race report this morning. Some brilliant motorsport going on there, and brilliant to see the Lamborghinis 1, 2, 3 as well, which gives us a bit of cheer for our assault on the Bathurst 12 Hour on Saturday, Sam.
Well, it gives us less of an excuse, unfortunately, on Saturday,
yes.
doesn't it? So, dearie me, that was Spa though, totally different to Bathurst, nothing like each other. Oh, Janssen's gone off the circuit, so that's not going to be the 0x, but he's made a huge mistake. Carl Janssen, he's got the body of that car barely on the vehicle now, and he will do well to finish this race. Oh, that's more contact. I wonder if you could see the steering for Janssen. Oh, as we've got 3 wide. Come on, guys. That's game over. He's not going to get to the end of that because, well, he can only survive 5 laps before getting DQ'd, and the laps are so quick around here. He'll get to the quarter of an hour, and that'll be it. So I don't think Carl Janssen's going to score points here.
Oh my word! Well, the and no fast repair either for the drivers too. So. Oh, that is a big one. Now, the only thing this will actually be quite interesting to watch, Sam, and interesting to see if Carl Janssen wants to try it. But no, I mean that car looks. He must have a meatball flag, surely, calling him into pit lane, and he will have a lot of repairs to take, which will surely be the end of this race for him. You can see him coming into pit lane now. It looks either that or no, he's carried on. Okay, right. So, how does this work with the iRacing meatball flag, Sam? Do explain to our viewers how this works. You're the man with the knowledge on this.
I'm not totally sure, as Janssen, there you can see, dips away onto the grass and hard into the wall. It's unlucky actually to get that much steering damage, to be fair, because that was square on. Usually you get away with that, but well, maybe you blow the engine, but not usually steering damage at least. Well, I believe, and maybe people on the chats, if you're watching along on YouTube or Twitch, it might be the 4 times you cross the line, you get disqualified on the 5th. I think it might be that. I remember pushing it at Road America one time for the iRating as boat glowers off the circuit. But I think even if Janssen does manage to cross the line, say 5 times, he'll still be 4 laps short of the end, or 3 laps short of the end. And if you finish more than 1 lap down, you don't score any points. So I don't really see how this one can work for Janssen. I see why he's staying out. He may as well flaunt the rules, see if it works, but I doubt it will work.
I have a theory. I think he's now it's if buts and maybes, but if there's a high attrition around him and there's lots of drivers who quit the race, then no. That's my theory over.
Oh, it's gone.
I was thinking if he could have kept going and then maybe got in the reverse grid, he might have ended up on reverse grid pole, but no. So that means that Carl Janssen is going to be starting from right at the back of the pack in race 2, and he's going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much Director's meeting right there. I mean, he's not going to score points for race 1, he's not going to score many points for race 2. You can only hope that he wins race 3, but even then that's minimal points. So that's probably the Championship League gone. And still got 2.5 more races to go, so that's dreadful for him. What if we get a replay of what happened to Gregory just back then, because he has fallen down the order, unfortunately, and here it was. So is that's one of the Hesketh racing cars, I think, or is that Toby Ward? Oh, he's just lost it, and then totally accidental. Hopefully Gregory doesn't have any damage from that one, but that's lost him, like 6 positions right there. That is, yeah, massive shame right there for Ben. Yeah, Meb, I think it was Kidsley, not sure.
It certainly was. You were spot on. I think it was one of the. I think it maybe was Luke Kidsley. Yes, one of the Hesketh racing cars. But Adam Bath on another impressive run here. He's into 4th in class, 5th in class right now for Scuderia Alpha Touring car. And I tell you what, this has been a really, really good season for Adam, hasn't it, Sam? So of course he's gone from the commentary box, he's switched microphone for steering wheel, and it's been a very good switch indeed.
Yeah, I mean, trying to emulate his fellow commentator, Sam Fitzpatrick, who of course won the BSR Winter Radical Championship a couple of years ago. It's coming up to the other
way. You've gone the other way.
I've gone the other. Well, no, I was already a commentator, and then I dabbled in the racing, one career over. Sorry. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Your pal Chris Cash is going to turn up soon and tell you to be quiet.
Yeah. Well, no, that's your job to tell him to be quiet.
Be quiet.
Yeah, thanks. I needed that. Johnston leading the way in the amateur category, but no, Adam has done very well. Did very well. So no, man, it has got quite a bit better since the first couple of rounds. So I think one of the contenders for the amateur championship got a few points to catch up, but certainly will have a chance, especially with Gregory, of course, championship leader, having a tough time there. Johnston's a very quick driver. Obviously, we've seen that much in the past. Gets involved in a few too many incidents though. Johnston, I think, still 3rd place in the championship, so he's another big challenger. Nathan Davies as well, probably in the same boat, I would say. And then you got Mark Woodhouse 2nd place in the championship. That can score some big points at the moment. I think one of the most competitive amateur fields we've seen so far this season in terms of the race ones. That might just be because of the a few pros starting from the pits, but no, 12th and 13th for the leading amateurs, so pretty good.
Indeed, yeah. I think the depth of the field in AM is stronger than ever. You're absolutely right this season, and great start from to this meeting for Mark Woodhouse, up into the top 15 overall, with Nathan Davies, of course, our heroic race winner, last time out at VIR, winning race 2 from pole position. It was a mighty, absolutely mighty performance. Although he couldn't help us out with our bet of between Cars and Monsters Inc. though.
Did he choose the right way? I think he chose the right way.
He'd not seen either of them. He said, "I've never seen a Disney film in my life."
Oh, well, it's not Disney. Come on, guys. It's Pixar. It's a grown-up film. Zaitsev has gone off the circuit. He's already been involved that start-finish line. He's kind of gone off into, the unknown, into the fields. I think there's a pond you can pretty much fall into near the back end of the circuit as well. And you can see the banks of fans, proper Aussie circuits. This one. Zaitsev still off the circuit, so I think that'll be game over for the Russian. He's outside the reverse grid places anyway. But yeah, we do need to think of some new movies. We were comparing Days of Thunder and Talladega Nights back on Sunday. We need to come up with a couple of other movies. If anyone's got any ideas in the chat, let us know.
Your favourite Denzel Washington movie?
I don't think I've seen many Denzel Washington movies, honestly.
Equalizer, for me. It's a close one between Equalizer and American Gangster. Both very good, but probably just Equalizer.
Yeah, I've seen Equalizer 2, but not the original for some reason. I thought it was good as well. Yes.
He's a good neighbour, isn't he?
Well, it's not as good as Monsters Inc. though. That's the thing. I mean, it's just, platitudes apart. So, it's difficult to really compare them as similar pieces of media.
Yeah, I think you're right. 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 I think you're They are in different categories. We can definitely say that. That is for sure. Now here at Oran Park, actually, they've been racing here, well, right up until its closure in 2010. They've been racing here since 1962, and I love the story of the first ever meeting they had here at Oran Park. They managed to fit in 18 races. I thought we were well served here in ARL's TC with 3, but 18 races, and the commentators, they commentated from a double-decker bus.
That is pretty awesome. It's a pretty good spectator circuit, this. All pretty compact. And absolutely brilliant to drive. Brilliant that we have it on the sim. Tassie's just got past Fritsch, actually. So Fritsch was starting on pole out of the amateur drivers, actually. It hasn't really been a very good race for Marcel so far. Tassie qualified in 16th, but I think he started from the pits, potentially. We had an issue on that one. And so he's still on the comeback, but well within the first good place. But yeah, shame for Marcel Fritsch, because looking like he maybe could win the amateur category in this race one. Bath has just got past Kidsley, so that is 5th position now for Adam Bath. And actually, Ben Gregory's just got past Toby Ward to boosted. 3 Spires boosted. Giles just having a swap there. They've only got a minute to go. There is Bath up there into 20th place. So the race leader will probably force one more lap to go. So we'll have 18 laps in this race. So Cedric, he's trying to come back at Harris. These guys had an almighty battle on lap 1, and Cedric is trying to have the last laugh.
Well, Cedric, trying to press home his World Championship credentials here. Damien Harris going very defensive there, and well, actually no, Damien Harris on the racing line. Jack Cedric goes on to the marbles, and that will be all she wrote, unless Damien Harris makes a mistake of his own. But really sling it in there tight into Champion Curve. There's some excellent corner names here. We've got Shell Corner, Champion Curve. They've just gone over the Yokohama Bridge and then up to Foster's Dip. And that is named after the the greatest Australian beer that's not from Australia. But anyway, Kieran Harrison comes around the final corner, Recaro corner, and he is sitting at the top of the table. A win gets his championship campaign right back on track, with his nearest rival Carl Janssen stranded in pit lane with a smashed up car. Kieran Harrison, your winner, followed by George Simmons and Jason Cooper.
Yeah, and that's going to be a race win as well for Mark Johnston. His first one in a couple of meetings, I think. At a good start to the season, that is just what Johnston needed, though. Beats home Davies. Etzman, great drive from Hadfield and Tassie to gain so many positions. Woodhouse rounds out the amateur podium. Did Gregory manage to make up any more places? No, it was Barth who held off Kidsley, Gregory and Ward to the line. Robertson dropping a few places by the end. This has been a good battle. We haven't seen too much of it. But Andrew Woodhouse managing to scamper away from these few drivers. They were quite close, I think, a few laps ago. Martin Shirley beating Robert Rund, Stu Abbott and Jack Tingey. That will mean that Abbott, after starting from the pits in race 1... Oh no, actually Abbott's got another pit lane start. I just remember he's got to start from the pits in all 3 races. So it won't be Abbott then from the pole position. It will be the next driver, unfortunately.
Oh my! Well, that's what a turn up there as well. After doing all the hard work to getting into the reverse grid positions, let's have a quick run through the results for race 1 as we're already getting ready for race 2 here at Oran Park. Kieran Harrison is your winner then, from George Simmons and Jason Cooper rounding out the podium. Marcel Tai, Damien Harris, Jack Cedric, Roman Botler, Igor Shorokov, Daniel Nagel and Oyston Hereford round out the top 10. 11th was Mikael Garcia, followed by Mark Johnston, your AM class winner, in 12th. Very closely followed by Nathan Davies in 13th. Huberteman was 14th, followed by Adam Hadfield, Attila Tassi, Mark Woodhouse, Corentin Guinness. Brilliant drive from the Frenchman from the pit lane to 18th. Amazing. Marcel Fritsch in 19th and Adam Bath 20th. Luke Kidsley was 21st, followed by Ben Gregory, Toby Ward, Fraser Smith, Jake Robertson, Sergei Glaskov, Arjen Bakker, Jay Austin, Andrew Woodhouse, Baron Glover, Martin Shirley, Robert Rund, Stu Abbott, Jack Tingey, Vasily Zaitsev, Carl Janssen classified in 36th position. John Billingsley, Tim Perry, and Andrew Bremer, rounding out our 39 cars here at Oran Park. Now, before we quickly go on to race 2, we've got a wee bit of time while the drivers prepare. Sam, Alex Neller says, I think he's got an idea for us on the films. He says, focus on the track. I've never seen that film, have you?
No, it must be Pixar's next one.
Maybe.
If it is, I'm down for it. I'll be going to the cinema for that one when they're open. So yeah, thanks Alex for the
very kind recommendation.
We've got another minute and 5, I think, until we get going. We have delayed the start for race 2 slightly, as we usually do. But yeah, massive shame for Abbott because he picked up a few penalties last time out at Virginia, and that means that he's got to start from the pits for this race 2. So it'll be Robert Rund, I guess, starting from the from the front. Everyone else though is allowed to start on the circuit. No one else has got any pit lane starts to serve, which is good news for the drivers. But yeah, when this was the biggest reverse we could have had. It was a range of 20 to 33 drivers that we could have as the reverse, and we got 33. So this one could be quite chaotic. It'll be interesting to see how far up the others can get.
Well, I tell you, the driver I've got my eye on in this race, Sam, is Corentin Guinness, because to come from pit lane to 18th position on a circuit where overtaking is really not straightforward. It's so tight and technical around here at Oran Park. But Corentin, he will start from around the mid-pack. You can see him there actually in the HM Engineering Audi, the red and black machine. So he's the man I've got my eye on in this particular races. He will start from 16th. Anybody standing out to you for a little wager here, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, Fraser Smith, I think, could be dangerous. Fraser's a very strong driver, as the lights are about to come on.
They are. We have the lights prepared. We are ready to go here at Oran Park, and off we go. Robert Rund leads us away here for race 2 at Oran Park, but Martin Shirley gets a slightly better launch, and he goes into turn 1 in the lead. Robert Rund a little bit slow off the line, and look at that. Is that now? That looks like, is that Adam Bath going right, hanging it right around the... No, it's Andrew Woodhouse. It's Andrew Woodhouse. Woody up into the lead. Go on, Woody.
Yeah, coming out from nowhere. Here he goes down the inside. Can he get it stopped? He just about can. Woodhouse up 4 positions from the start. What a miraculous getaway that was. And he is leading the way at the moment in line for a little bit of the bubbly. Robertson with a very good start as well, up 5 positions. Smith not quite with a great start, but still up 3 positions for Smith. So some of the pro drivers having a good run of it so far. Harris up 6 positions, way further down the order. There goes Robertson, that's off the circuit. He'll be lucky not to get a slowdown here as they all get real held up behind. Rund did some pretty good defense down into turn 1, but it was just an awful launch for him, and he's down to 4th place, and has got quite a few quick cars now trying to make his way past.
I tell you what, and Andrew, a little bit of a bump and run there. That is Jay Austin giving Baron Glover a little bit of a nudge there, and that's going to give Fraser Smith a run down the inside. Look at this, the Full Send Racing driver gets his opportunity up into 5th place. Now, you're absolutely right, Sam. I think he is going to be the danger man. Corentin Guin is still mired back in 12th position as things stand. Jay Austin going a little bit wide there. You can't afford that there. You'll get poached. But he will get the switch back there, coming back into Shell Corner. Oh, it's kind of, oh, dearie me, they all piling into just a 4 wide into a corner where there's maybe not a room for 2, maybe, and Jake Robertson's off the circuit as well.
I don't know what's happening to Robertson down there, and also we've got another car as well. I think that might be Nathan Davies, Adam Bath as well. I mean, probably there's a tyre in the middle of the circuit, at least on my screen. And Woodhouse is absolutely sprinting away. Rund's coming back as well. So, of course, with oh, I wonder if Rund has hit Robertson. I'm just saying because Robertson was ahead of Rund, I believe, and Rund's got quite a bit of front end damage, so I wonder if there's been a collision between those two. Janssen as well, just dropping down the order. He's had a small off, but I think he's back going again. Gregory up into 6th position now. This would be good points for him. Dropping down the order there is Martin Shirley. He's having a tough time of it for SSF Racing. and he's going to be overtaken left to right and centre. So yeah, a lot happened down at that turn 3.
God, it certainly did indeed. And yeah, there's a huge amount of damage on the front of Robert Roone's car. And oh, Baron Glover off as well. He goes off in a big way into the kiddie litter, just misses the barrier. And they all streamed through. And actually, I tell you who profited from that a lot was Corentin Guinez, who's up to 6th position right now. But Fraser Smith, very much the man on the move, on up to 2nd and lapping a little bit quicker than Andrew Woodhouse. But what a great start for Woody. And he's meanwhile behind. You know what he would be saying right now if he were back behind the microphone, Sam, at that last lap, he'd be going, oh, bang.
Yes, it's all going on behind you. You have no idea in that car. Maybe you will with the relative. So that's Marcel Ty. Oh, Ty was so good in race 1, and he slipped and slid off the circuit there down the hill. And 23 cars in first grid will do well to get back up into 23rd position then. Oh, in fact, he's 24th. It's all right, but Marcel, I was exaggerating seemingly. Right there. You can see there's a lot of field spread so far with the incidents that we've had. Gregory under pressure from Guinez. Guinez had a very good lap there. He's getting a few places. I think he's got past 2 or 3 drivers there. And up the inside he goes. Gregory not quite as strong as we've seen him in previous rounds. And Tassi also makes his way past a bit. You would have expected that anyway. And now we've got Gregory and Woodhouse top 2 in the amateur category in the championship. And they are real battling out. But here comes Fraser Smith, my pick for the race win. He is having an awesome run at the moment, is Fraser. It's right onto the back of Andrew Woodhouse. Well, this one just looks like a matter of time, to be honest.
Well, we shall see. I think if someone needs to get the message down to Woody that Sam Fitzpatrick bet on Fraser Smith for the win, and you're going to see that Audi get too wide all of a sudden. Keep Fraser behind there, but wow. This is brilliant racing up the front here at Oran Park, and what a return to the championship. We've missed Woody the last couple of weeks here in the ARLTC, but Fraser Smith, you can tell he's got that little bit more drive out of the final corner there, drafting down the front straight they go into the turn 1, very aptly named the Sweeper. So through he goes into the Sweeper. Andrew Woodhouse gives him, a little bit too much room, and oh no! Oh, bang! Oh, that's certainly... Oh, bang, bang, bang. Oh, dear. Well, Sam, that was so unlucky. As Andrew Woodhouse there just trying to give a little bit extra room to Fraser and then put a wheel on the grass. And that sent him into a spin, which then sent him into the side of Fraser Smith. And all of a sudden, Luke Kidsley's into the lead.
12 places is Kidsley, and all of a sudden your call for the race win. Guinez is looking very strong himself, so that is a huge shame for Woodhouse, as he's now got Tassi, who isn't going to be wasting any time behind him at all. Tassi can see a race win coming his way at the moment if something happens between the top 3. Smith nearly kept the lead after all of that. They had such a big gap. And not too much damage on that car for Smith, so he could still win this race, albeit it will be a lot more tricky than it looks like it would be just a few moments ago. Run somehow still maintaining in 3rd place despite all of that damage. But here comes Smith. He made the move on the last lap. Not going to be close enough for a move this time, as we see Tassi into the pits. What's happened with Tassi? That is a big shame for him. Maybe he's gone over the instant limit.
Possibly, yeah. There is suggested, of course, that you only need to make contact with another car 4 times, or have a car make contact with you 4 times, and you're over. And speaking of, I'll tell you what, Fraser Smith will be getting close to it. Some have been his fault, some haven't been, but he will be getting close to that incident limit as well. Now, just coming back to that contact, it actually looks like he got hit in the perfect place. He got hit in the door, and it looked like they avoided the wheels, because of course, thing is, Sam, if you get hit on the wheels, that's when you really start getting problems.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think you're bang on there. He got hit in the door, and yeah, not being too bad. Will cost him a little bit down the straights, but apart from that, will be fine. He needs to get past because Guinez has got past Rund, and so this is really the last lap that Fraser has got a chance at getting past Kidsley before Guinez is putting pressure on him. You can see just visually, corner after corner, he's making up time. 1/10 of a second though is the gap. Oh, he's pulling out pretty early there. I'm surprised he didn't stay in the slipstream a bit longer, but he seems to have part of his car alongside. Here comes Smith. down the inside, and this time he has got it done. Great move there from Smith. He deserves this race win after the contact with Woodhouse earlier on. And now it's Guinness who's going to be going for the move on Kidsley.
Yeah, and Guinness is going to have to get this done quickly, because if he gets stuck behind Luke Kidsley, Fraser Smith will be able to escape at the front. And we're nearly at half race distance already here in race number 2 at Oran Park. And I think we're both in agreement on this, Sam, is that I love coming to circuits like this that aren't part of the usual suite of circuits. They're proper, off the wall, a little bit quirky, but look at the racing we're getting, it's brilliant.
Yes.
Oh dear.
And that is Kidsley. Well, he's off the circuit. He'll be able to take a pretty good racing line there. Brilliant apex. Oh, that's superb. Well done. That is real nice driving. We'll see if Guinness maybe gets a penalty for that after the race. But yeah, I mean, one of the characteristics of these disused circuits is the narrowness, and you saw it right there, just not enough space being able to be given. Bokler up into 4th. He's really gone under the radar so far, and that is also Gregory getting past. Is he defending against? Just know he's getting past Woodhouse. Apologies, because I'm getting confused because there's 2 Woodhouses, obviously. But he's trying to get past the Andrew variety. And he's having to work at it. Here comes Gregory, should be able to get it done with a better exit over the bridge. Quite a lot of a shorter run day for the Alpha touring car driver. And it's very reminiscent of Cedric and Harris from lap 1 in race 1. And Gregory, though, does stay ahead, and here comes Garcia. He'll happily take the offering there.
Well, indeed, it's getting very, very spicy there indeed. And nearly side-by-side contact there between Mikael Garcia and Andrew Woodhouse. He's onto the grass, hang on to it. Oh, just about hangs on to it. And Mark Woodhouse goes by Andrew Woodhouse into 8th position. Now, back at the front, Corentin Guinness has got past Luke Kidsley after that little bit of a... I'm sure it definitely wasn't deliberate, but the end result was a bit of a bump and run, and Corentin Guinness is heading off in hot pursuit of Fraser Smith. Now, looking at the lap times for these guys, Corentin Guinness' best lap time, a 1:11.06. Fraser Smith, a 1:11.5. So there's quite a bit of pace difference in favour of Corentin Guinness.
Yeah, that's pretty overwhelming, with still many more laps to go of this race. This is a sprint race, but yeah, he's still got plenty more time to bring that one back. So that is dangerous for Smith at the moment. He will not be fancying his chances too strongly, but we'll see what his defence is made of. Woodhouse is having a tough time, and you just think if he hadn't got involved in that instant down at turn 1, you know, he could have been well up the road. He lost probably lost 8 seconds with that off, and then since then it's just been having to defend in the background. Howson went for a big move up the inside of Mark Johnston. Didn't really work out though for Harrison. He's around Cooper, Ty, Harris, all top drivers from race 1, of course. Is Harrison able to make this one stick? He's still got part of his car alongside, and to give room is the Hesketh driver, and Harrison does eventually get past. It looks like Jason Cooper will do the same.
Indeed, yes, absolutely. It's you can see Kieran Harrison up to 12. Now, where is Janssen? Because Janssen had got up to around the top 15, but he has dropped off the radar a little bit. So this is and there's got a lot of damage on that car. He's in 29th position. Is Janssen? Oh my word! There's a lot of damage on the front of that car. This has been an absolutely disastrous meeting for Carl Janssen.
Yeah, I think he was involved in that lap 2 craziness where there seemed to be 5 or 6 incidents within a few seconds of one another. Might be able to get a replay of it now. Actually, I am not able to see this one. But I think this might be an explanation why he lost his places.
Oh, he gets nerfed by Jack Sedgwick. Gets absolutely nerfed by Jack Sedgwick going through Forster's dip. So it looked like he was driving. Looked like he was driving on the way home from the pub after a few Fosters.
Well, he's got 4 places in front of him, which will be easy enough. He could still get reverse grid pole. 23 cars reverse grid for race 3, and no, he needs quite a bit of luck. He is at the moment. Well, you know what? He's only 7 seconds off 23rd place, but you got Robertson and Tassi who are well out of position further ahead, who are going to be tricky to catch up to. So we'll see on that one. Janssen though could still recover some points in race 3. He doesn't want to start in 24th position though, if he can help it. We've got a massive queue of cars right now behind Mark Woodhouse still. In fact, he's just got past Andrew Woodhouse, so I imagine it'll probably be Andrew who will be holding up those drivers now. Yeah, Mark has got a decent way ahead. And yeah, Woody, 3 places lost, and he didn't really do anything. Might even be 4 places as the defending champion. Moves his way past as well. Tough time for Woody at the moment, but I mean, still could be in for a decent amount of amateur points.
Indeed, yeah, he's running up quite high up the overall order. So yeah, it's been a good meeting all in all. And this will happen in the reverse grid races when you're racing with the top of the guys in the pro class. It is hard work, really hard work indeed. And yeah, Woody just keep it. I tell you what, he's one of the very few guys in that group with a car that looks remotely like when it left the showroom. There are a lot of smashed up Audis in this race, and at a circuit that's so tight like here at Oran Park, I think that was almost inevitable. You look at the state of Kieran Harrison's car in 10th. Now he's come from 33rd on the grid, so I don't think you can make it all the way up to 10th with that car clean. But he's just got a few little dings and scrapes there as well. And whoa, Mark Johnson off in a big way. Goodness me, he's halfway to Sydney.
Johnston, who won the amateur race in race 1, I believe. And it's a very slow get back on second. Does a good job there of making sure it's a safe re-entry. Down into 23rd place. That's a reverse grid pole, but Shirley gets past. Now, Shirley's not the quickest driver. He's been lapping about 2 seconds a lap slower than these guys. And look at Janssen. He's up into 25th all of a sudden. And he's got Robertson. Well, he'll surely catch up to Shirley. So all of a sudden, it's looking very good for him. Justin's had another off now through the chicane. But there goes Janssen up into 24th. He's got 5 minutes to catch up to Shirley, and yeah, he'll do that with ease. So a reverse grid pole potentially coming the way of the Swedish driver, as Smith is going to go all out defence against Guinness.
Yeah, he's done it. Corentin Guinness is on the scene, but not able to make a move at this moment in time. And these guys are used to battling with one another in touring cars. They actually call another GCR series where these guys go head-to-head regularly, so they know each other inside out now. So this is going to be a superb battle, I'm sure. And oh my word, Corentin Guinness getting all kinds of squirrely there into the final corner at Recaro, and nearly got thrown out of his Recaro seat there.
Yeah, holding on to it. No worries about instant limits, I'm sure, for these guys. They're just going for those bonus points for the race win. Bokler as well. Really catching up to these guys quick. You can see it on the screen there. Gaining about a second on these guys on that last lap. So not really a whole lot Bokler can do. As you can see, very similar liveries for Guinness and Bokler. They are both HM engineering drivers. So you imagine that Guinness will have the shots at the race win. And Bokler will kind of just have to hope that his teammate gets it done, and maybe he can go through as well.
Yeah, Roman Bokler, I think, will be watching this battle with interest right now, with just 3.5 minutes to go here at Oran Park in the second race. And you've got to think that Corentin Guinness, you can just tell, as you mentioned earlier, Sam, corner by corner, there's just that little bit of an advantage over Fraser Smith. But this is a circuit where you can really make your car wide and make it really super difficult for the driver behind you to make that move. And well, this is touring car racing. Will that move be forced? And Corentin Guinness embracing his proper inner Audi driver, flashing the headlights.
Yeah, he's pulling off all the stops now, 0.2 of a second faster. So he's back onto the rear of Smith. Will it be turn 1, turn 2, maybe turn 3 into the 90-degree right-hander? And yeah, certainly Smith feeling like that's a risk. Defends it off. Oh, around the outside, good speed guide there from Guinness, and we've seen you can get around the outside here. You can go around the outside for a few more corners and then eventually get the inside. But looks like Smith has covered that one off. You can save a lot of time by just cutting the inside there. He's doing enough at the moment. These final few corners of the lap pretty much impossible to overtake. So yeah, Guinness going to have to try again, but that turn 3 looks very dangerous.
It does indeed. Oh, dearie me. That big wiggle there for Corentin Guinness, and that's just going to give Fraser Smith a corner or two to breathe. Now, fellow Frenchman and fellow teammate Roman Böckler is now on the scene now. Is he going to let his teammate have it? He's probably going to say, get a move on, Corentin, and he's going to say, I am trying. Can't you see me dancing this Audi all over the place? With 2 laps to go as they stream over the line here at Oran Park. I tell you what, if you prefer the big name circuits, I have to say I'm absolutely loving this racing here at Oran Park. Why did they build houses on it?
Exactly. We want to see supercars around this place.
Imagine slithering around.
Smith having to do a half defense there. Guinness just wasn't as close across the start finish line. Oh, runs off the circuit in the background front, driving so well. And he should still be within the reverse grid place, so not too bad for him. Harrison as well, just getting past Garcia, so 8th place for Harrison. That is terrific news for him, albeit Janssen is still occupying that reverse grid pole at the moment. Smith then, with just 1 and a bit more laps to go for what would be a really good race win. I really thought that it was just a matter of time until Guinness got past, as I stated, but he has proved me wrong. Here comes Guinness though, down the inside into the final corner. It should be a better exit for the driver on the outside. They make contact, but it's upper hand surely for the Frenchman here.
Well, he's got the inside line, but Fraser Smith just has that position on track ever so slightly. Corentin Guinness backs out of it, and oh, sells the dummy. Oh, that is he's getting all kinds of squirrely. Nearly puts a wheel on the sand, tries to sling it around the outside. Surely that can't work. Fraser Smith goes to cover for the next corner at Shell. Through they go then. This is a proper last lap grandstand finish here in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. Fraser Smith in the lead, Corentin Guinness in second. We ride on board with Roman Böckler, who I hope doesn't send us an invoice for being the perfect cameraman for this battle.
Well, surely he's survived the worst of it, Smith. There's nothing that Guinness can do unless he goes for that last corner lunge once again. What Smith doesn't want to do is go too defensive, because then he might be runnable on the run to line, but it is very nicely done from Guinness. Surely Smith will have to cover the inside.
Have to, but look, there's bound to be contact. Surely Smith goes to shut the door and, well, pays the price for it. He goes into the wall and both HM Engineering cars go through. Corentin Guinness gives the position back. Very generous indeed. Smith is second and Roman Böckler is your winner. Wow, what a finish.
Well, credit for Guinness there for giving up the place, but Smith will be so annoyed with that one. He had the race win, and it's Böckler who takes advantage of it. To be fair, probably the fastest of those 3. And yeah, it is an HM Engineering car once again winning, just as Harrison did in race 1. Kidsley with a very good 4th position. Apologies if we didn't see a whole lot of that battle, but you know, there was so much going on elsewhere. Simmons will finish in 23rd place and get reverse grid past. Janssen has some very good pace near the end of that, despite the damage you can see. So a couple of very quick drivers at the front for that race 3 seemingly. But so yeah, Roman Böckler, I think that might be his first race win in Apex Racing League touring car history. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that is the case.
Well, you're the stat man, Sam. I'm sorry, I cannot quite remember, but thoroughly deserved anyway. But a bit of handbrake there as well. And wow, I wonder if it would be possible to get a replay of that last incident there, because it looked like Guinness. Oh, we can. Okay, we will have to remember that one as it was. Goodness me, what a finish to that second race there. It looked like maybe Fraser Smith just shut the door slightly, but it's always such small margins there going into the final corner. So confirming then, Roman Böckler, our winner, by just a half a second from Fraser Smith, and Corentin Guinness third. A whole 7 seconds back down the road Luke Kisley wins in the amateur class for Hesketh Racing, followed by Ben Gregory and Mark Woodhouse. Daniel Nagy was 7th, followed by Kieran Harrison, who continues to have a red letter day here at Oran Park and really put in some distance between himself and championship rival Carl Janssen. Huberterman was 9th, followed by Mikael Garcia, Marcel Tai, Andrew Woodhouse, who put on a valiant performance for Scuderia Alpha Touring Car. Marcel Fritsch was 13th, followed by Igor Shirokov, Vasily Zaitsev, Oystein Herford, Robert Rund and Attila Tassi in 18th position. 19th was Damien Harris, followed by Toby Ward. Carl Janssen eventually classified in 21st, so will start near the front of the pack in race 3. George Simmons was 22nd, followed by Jake Robertson, Sergey Glasgow, Tim Perry, Martin Shirley, Jack Tingy, Jason Cooper, and our last few finishers. 29th was Jay Austin, followed by Mark Johnson, Andrew Bramer, Jack Sedgwick, Baron Glover, Stu Abbott, Nathan Davies, Adam Bath, Aryan Backer, Adam Hadfield, and John Billingsley. We're going to take a very, very short break here on Apex Racing TV. Do not go anywhere, and we will be right back with race 3.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other
Welcome back to Oran Park, where we are preparing for the third and final race of the 6th round of the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. It has been an absolutely thrilling evening's racing so far, and this is how they line up for race number 3. Jake Robertson, the World Rallycross Championship star, will begin on pole position alongside his Apex Racing Team teammate George Simmons. Carl Janssen adds a bit of a star-studded flavour to the front of the pack in third, followed by Toby Ward, Damien Harris, Attila Tassi, Robert Rund and Oystein Herford. Row 5 is an all-Russian affair with Felisei Zaitsev and Igor Shorokov, and row 6 will be Marcel Fritsch and Andrew Woodhouse. Row 7 will be Marcel Tai and Mikael Garcia, followed by Hugh Betterman and defending champion Kieran Harrison. Daniel Nagy starts from 17th alongside Mark Woodhouse, followed by Ben Gregory, Luke Kidsley, Corentin Guinez, Fraser Smith, Roman Bokler and Sergei Glazkov. On row 13 is Tim Perry and Martin Shirley, followed by Jack Tingy, Jason Cooper, Jay Austin, Mark Johnson, Andrew Brema, Jack Sedgwick, Baron Glover, Stu Abbott, Nathan Davies and Adam Bath, rounding out our runners. The lights are prepared, out they go, and we are off for the third and final race here down under. Jake Robertson leads us away with George Simmons on the inside line there. Janssen on the outside for Core Sim Racing. They pile down into turn 1. Our race 3 winner from last week, Damien Harris, in there too for Fiercely Forward. But Sam, is Jake Robertson gets the whole shot.
Yep, holding on at the moment is Robertson. Simmons just trying to defend from Janssen. This is such a high quality top 5. Could be the top 5 from a race 1, frankly, because Ward has had a very tricky start, losing a couple of places already. And he's got Oystein Herford trying to get past as well. It's going to be fascinating to see if Robertson, a World Championship driver in the Rallycross series, can hold off his teammate and some of the most competitive drivers in the series out in front. But yeah, Ward's going to be in for a tough time. This still long way clear of the next amateur driver of Marcel Fritsch, but it looks like he's going to lose a place to Herford. Here goes around the outside. That's nice defense there from Ward, and he's holding on for 6th position, but that could be a bit of a cue starting to line up behind him.
Yeah, there is very much, there's the have and the have-nots, and they are definitely separating quite a lot right now, but Toby Ward doing a great job there, up in 6th overall. He's got a good gap back to his nearest AM-class contender, so Jake Robertson leads us over the line in P1. Is George Simmons going to have a look on his Apex Racing Team teammate? He shows his nose. Jake goes a little bit wide, but he'll have the inside line for the switchback into Shell Corner. Oh dear, a little bit of contact there between Jake Robertson and Carl Janssen. It must be his rallycross experience there. He doesn't mind a bit of argy-bargy.
Get out of the commentary booth.
You love it.
There was a bit of coordination between the two of them as Gregory. As we've got a change for the lead potentially. Here comes Janssen. Well, Simmons will be kicking himself if he lets Janssen have this one. He's got to try to keep alongside, just keep part of his car alongside. But Janssen is looking like he's got the upper hand, and he has the lead. The man who's had such an awful run as Robertson's into the wall. Tassi as well having problems. Jake, I really thought that he might be able to at least hang on to maybe 5th place with Ward seemingly struggling. He should be able to finish this race still, Robertson, but that is a shame for him, and being very cautious re-entering the circuit. Tassi holding on for 4th position at the moment. Also, Toby Ward has got involved in a little bit of an issue. He's down into 14th position. Yeah, Janssen, Simmons and Harris now the front 3 in this race.
They are indeed, and I wonder if we'll not see Carl Janssen for dust now, because he's got a lot of time to make up. He's got a lot of positions, he's got a lot of points to put on the board, and he's done exactly what he needed to do from the second row of the grid. And we've got somebody else off there in the middle. This could be T-Bone Steak. Be careful. It was Daniel Nagy, actually. Andrew Woodhouse off the track as well, and nearly gets hit by Hugh Betterman there, and Toby Ward in there too. God, it's all going off. Luke Kidsley off the circuit. Dear me, you got to be careful. You got to have eyes on the back of your head here in ARLTC. Now, Kieran Harrison, brilliant start for the race for him. He's up to 8th place, and this is it's just been an amazing season, hasn't it, Sam? It has been like a pendulum that's just swung back and forward. Carl Janssen's had the rub of the green the last 2 meetings, but this has been the return of Kieran Harrison tonight at Oran Park.
Yeah, I mean, Jansen's been pretty consistent so far this season. He had that little bit of an iffy Sonoma run because he had to start from the pits in race 1. But this will be his drop score, and even for a drop score to get a race win, and also finishing one of the other races, not dreadful for Janssen. Should still be all right for him, albeit he will lose that championship lead. Igor Shurikov in 9th position for Wild Animals Wizards. Only up one place his shirt copies, holding back Garcia, who's kind of been everywhere. Garcia, kind of a bit of an unsung hero so far in tonight's meeting, but I think one of the highest scoring drivers so far. He's doing very well in 10th place. He's then got, of course, Guinness and Poplar, who finished on the podium in race 2, lining up behind the sun. These guys have made great progress. Guinness up 10, Poplar up 11, Cedric up 14, and Davies, I think the highest going, up 15.
Goodness me, yeah. It's, there's lots of movers and shakers so far. It's been one of those meetings, hasn't it, here at Oran Park? What will it be like at Bathurst next week? My goodness me, that's going to be very exciting indeed. Lots of drafting opportunities there on the straights as Guinness looks up the inside of Mikel Garcia, where he had to go on Fraser Smith in the last lap, the last corner of race 2, and he gets through. And George Simmons, well, we thought that George Simmons might have been dropped by Carl Janssen, but absolutely nothing of it. He is on the bumper of the Super Swede, and George Simmons could do Kieran Harrison a bit of a favour here.
Yeah, this would be quite a helping hand. Simmons still in the championship as well in the A-Build category. Still got a bit of catching up to do, but well, if he's going to do that catching up, I think this would be a good start for him to get past Carl Janssen if he can. Just seemingly sliding a little bit through turn 1 and maybe just a tenth or two lost on that occasion. Now Janssen extending that gap slightly through this middle part of that. Still, the tow will be helping out Simmons, I'm sure, right now. Harris trying to keep behind Tassie. Tassie's already overtaken Harris in this race, I think, back on lap 2. So I imagine Tassie might have the upper hand here. He looks very quick. Let's see Attila back up there. Unfortunately, he had to start from the back, I believe, in race 1. So we haven't really been able to see his full pace all day long. I think he may have got together with Robertson earlier on in today's meeting. Not a great lap there for Tassie, but yeah, he's maintaining 4th place at the moment.
Indeed, yeah, and we see that Carl Janssen answers back to George Simmons with a 1 minute 10.4, so they're on to really, really hot pace now at the front of the field. So a brilliant duel going on there, but Damien Harris continuing he likes these third races, doesn't he, Sam? Of course, won at a canter last time out at VIR, and he's not a million miles off these leaders right now, and if they start battling, he'll be right there in the fight too.
Yeah, you have these runs of races where you can get just strangely up the front in the race 3s. It's a little bit of a lottery across race 2. You're always going to be starting near the back if you're a top driver. But race 3, it's a bit random, you know, with the different size reverse grids that we have. You know, sometimes we can have a 20, sometimes we can have a 40. So just a run of good luck. All these starting places in race 3, but yeah, you're hoping that that luck will carry on through the season. Cedric has had no luck for tonight. Had a decent race 1, if I recall correctly, or maybe he crashed. I'm quite sure it was one or the other. He's in 16th position anyway. I only got one more amateur driver to overtake. You see quite a divide between the pros and the AMs, just showing how good the quality was of pro drivers at the front of this grid. As into the pits was Luke Kidsley. Kidsley did very well in race 2, winner of the amateur category, but back to the pits in this race 3.
Not good news there for Kidsley as we see Ben Gregory having a big look up the inside at the sweeper on Jake Robertson, and they're all off. Goodness me, Baron Glover is off there as well, along with, is that Tim Perry off behind him as well? No, Jack Tingy off in the 244 car, and that has been a real hotspot for action, hasn't it? That turn 1 in the sweeper.
Yeah, I think that's been the big spot because it's so easy to dip a wheel onto the wheel onto the grass on the outside. So yeah, easy mistake to make. If you like this circuit, if you want to race around this circuit, then I believe the Apex Racing League Master Cup Championship. No, sorry, it's not the championship, it's just the Master Cup is starting on Monday And you can sign up on ApexRacingLeague.com for that series. We're visiting this circuit. We're visiting all 3 circuits. So you'll have the content already downloaded. If you've got iRacing, the Mazda is a free car as well. So you pay the entry fee, and that's it. And it's just 6 hours as well, so a slightly reduced entry fee of £18 plus VAT. So if you go to ApexRacingLeague.com, you can get yourself signed up for that. There's going to be some very good racing around Daytona and Okayama, Oran Park, and a few others. So certainly do recommend it. It's some of the best racing usually in the MX-5. That's sign up open until next Monday.
And I tell you what, I am so looking forward to commentating on that series here on Apex Racing TV. It's going to be a whole load of fun. And I've been doing my studying on the Mazda company. What I have to say, what an incredible history the Mazda company has, and what an amazing commitment to motorsport. First Japanese brand to win Le Mans, first Japanese brand to win a round of the World Rally Championship. Would you believe?
Wow, I really didn't know that. So also I just love the fact that like the MX-5, I don't remember a time before the MX-5, and it's just always like the #1 sports car to go for. I mean, it's not really particularly contested, so it's really one of the most legendary cars I think around at the moment.
Indeed, it's of course it's one of the most raced cars in the world, the Mazda MX-5, and I have to say there are a couple of the newer model that are parked on my street right now, and I quite fancy a wee switch to one. Actually, I do. One of the hardtop, the retractable hardtop Mazda MX-5, BBS wheels, and maybe a BBR tuning kit on there as well for the full yob effect. But anyway, back to the action. Do get involved with that. The Mazda MX-5 Cup. I think it's going to be a huge lot of fun, brilliant racing, and really pared back to basics. Well, it's almost like it's about as close as you can get to karting in racing. So it's going to be great fun indeed. Still, Carl Janssen leading, and look at that. Those guys at the front, they cannot be separated by any more than 1/100th of a second.
Yeah, this is mega close at the moment. Yeah, that last lap, 1/100th of a second difference. Robertson, catching up to these guys. Did Robertson have to come back to the pits? I don't think he did. No, he didn't. But just that off earlier on. I think he may have had a second off as well, Robertson. So what could have been for him? Martin Shirley, shout out to him, because he's had one of the cleanest cars all day long, even though he always seems to be in the mix of things. Oh dear, this is 3 wide. This is formation flying. Right now, that is Woodhouse ahead of these guys of the Mark variety. Then it's Tingy, Perry, and Abbott. Tingy, one of the newer drivers to the championship, so he has made a good entrance to the series, albeit as so many others are. Very damaged front end of that car. In fact, these guys are best part of a lap down, because you can see Janssen and Simmons and co already starting their lap 11 of this race. 8 minutes still to go. One of this close battles out on circuit is this top 4 at the moment, and Harris is catching up to these guys slowly. Well, he's catching up to Simmons at least. But yeah, we'll see what Harris can do about this one. He's usually pretty smart in the car, I think. Harris, one of our more experienced drivers in Apex Racing League, has driven in the GT Championship in the past, of course, and a couple of seasons of the TC. He would, it'd be brave to go for a move on his fellow countryman.
It would indeed, yes, but he's right there to capitalise on any mistake, and I think this is going to be a very fast lap from Carl Janssen, because he is really turning the screw on George Simmons right now. They were glued together, but just over 7 minutes to go, Carl Janssen asking some big questions of his Apex Racing team rival. And now it's quite funny, our live timing software, when they come out of that final corner, they're using every last bit of the road, so much so that the live timing thinks they're going into pit lane, which obviously they're not, or they hope that they're not. Now, goodness me, just 2/100th of a second separating Janssen and Simmons there, so they're both operating on a super high level, but it just seems that Janssen is literally nibbling 100th or 2 per lap, and that is where he's just accumulating this small but important lead.
Yeah, a few back markers now to deal with for Janssen. Hopefully these guys won't play too much of a part. Hopefully their influence will be equal to all the drivers, shall I say. Because we do kind of want to see a little bit of entertainment, but not too much controversy, please. They have got Glover and Glazkov. They're pretty good drivers. Particularly Glazkov, I think, will bother these guys. In fact, actually, the one past Glazkov is not quite sure, actually. But yeah, that's those are the drivers that they need to pass. Andrew Woodhouse, top of the amateur drivers. Ward had an issue earlier on and hasn't really recovered since. Andrew Woodhouse now the lead. However, Fritsch, who did get pole out of the amateur drivers, I believe, in qualifying, hasn't really been a very good day since then for Fritsch, but he could recover the race 3 win in the amateur category. He seems to be very good around this circuit, does the Austrian, and on that last lap he was 0.8 of a second faster, so a move could be on here for the amateur lead.
It could be. Well, it's great to see, absolutely brilliant to see Andrew Woodhouse battling away, of course, former commentator on this very series, and another one who has switched the microphone for the steering wheel. And I tell you what, he's I'm sure we'll hear when, hopefully we're going to have a chat with Woody afterwards. I think he might be quite an advocate for Oran Park because he's just come alive at this circuit.
Well, we've got 5 or 6 combinations, so maybe we can do that for next season.
Imagine the shorter version.
Yeah, well, I think you got the north and the south, and then you got the extra kind of twiggly bits. One of the scenic cameras that you may have seen earlier on kind of shows just how many different layouts there are. There's like 6 rows of tarmac, all of which kind of are extra extensions of the track. It's absolutely crazy around this circuit. I think one of our workmates at Apex Racing TV, Scott Newton's actually done a little bit of karting around this circuit on the north layouts, I believe. So yeah, loads of different configurations around this place. Meanwhile, Davies is ahead of Ward, but he's pretty slow down the straight. He's got a better line, should be all right. Should Ward. And they've got Barr just behind as well. Here comes Barr.
Well, not all heroes wear capes. Some of them drive very brightly coloured Audis, and Adam Bath could do his teammate Andrew Woodhouse a big favour here, because what Adam needs to do now is get in and ruffle these guys up a bit, and Toby Ward and Nathan Davies there as well, because he doesn't want them to be able to clear up the road and get involved with the lead battle with Andrew Woodhouse and Marcel Fritsch. And but that's something we know about Adam Bath. He's a good teammate, so I wonder if that's what he'll be thinking right now. He's thinking, right, don't worry, Woody, I've got your back here. Oh, just as he has a massive gusset-eating moment.
Oh, how many times have we seen that? Pretty much every single corner, isn't it? Where I think that turn 1 and the penultimate corner, just over the crest here, I think is the worst of it. Just well, we could do a few more curves around this circuit, but it sure is a challenge because, yeah, dipping a wheel onto the grass constantly sliding about, you know that you're pushing the limits, at least if you're doing that. Not too many overtakes at the moment going on out on circuit. Quick shout out as well to one of our sponsors at Apex Racing TV, SDK Gaming, who provide our lovely overlay for us as we see Adam Bath go for a move on Toby Ward. But yeah, SDK Gaming providing our lovely overlay with the timing tower and all of that stuff, the track map, and you can do loads of customization on this as well. Change the colours, change pretty much the entire layout. It's all customizable. So do go to sdkgaming.co.uk and you can download that software. It's also fantastic for streaming and also as a heads-up display whilst you are racing. So yeah, do check that out.
Yeah, it's very, very handy software indeed. I like it when you can show the badges of all the cars. Of course, no point in this series because they're all Audis, but quite cool for the when we do the Apex Racing League GT Trophy. We've got Lamborghinis and Ferraris and BMWs and Mercedes and all sorts. But Øystein Herford, he's had a really strong race, has the Norwegian. He's in 8th position right now, holding off, our podium finishers from race 2, Corentin Guinness and Roman Botler. Their HM Engineering teammate Kieran Harrison is up to 6th with Carl Janssen still leading the race. So tell you what, this has been a really clutch drive from Carl Janssen just to, he was under a lot of pressure to get this win, and it looks like he's going to be able to do that, Sam.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with this one. It was a good move as well on Simmons. Got Simmons early on in the race, seemingly faster than Simmons, but I mean, if he had stayed behind till kind of lap 4 or 5, I'm not sure if he would have got past. So the fact that he made that early move, absolutely fundamental for Janssen. Just shows how competitive he was. You know, this being one of his most competitive rounds in terms of pace. He was fantastic in qualifying, fantastic in race 1, and then just that one mistake really has derailed his evening. Tassi is going on the defensive from Zaitsev. Zaitsev, of course, drove for one and also a runner-up in the GT Team Championship last season. And then they've got Harrison right behind. This will be the last lap of the race because we've got 30 more seconds to go. I think this is going to be the last lap of the race, lap 17. So, yeah, this is going to be it. A little bit of a faster circuit. It's quite late in the evening. It's about 6:15 now in sim temperature on the 15th of November because we're in the southern hemisphere. It feels the 15th of May would be in pitch black right now. So, but still light for these drivers, light running out for Joyce Simmons because it seems like this first win is in the bag for Carl Janssen.
It looks like it is as they come round into the final sector. The checkered flag is in the air for Carl Janssen. 2 disastrous races to begin with, and he answers back with gusto. Carl Janssen is your winner here in race 3 in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. Exactly when he needs it. George Simmons comes in second. Damien Harris, a great podium, and oh no! Oyston Hereford, after a brilliant run, goes off at the final corner. What a disaster! And we're coming up to the AM class runner as well. Who's going to get it to the line? Is it going to be Fritsch? Is it going to be Woodhouse? Waiting for them to come over. It's going to be Marcel Fritsch who edges out Andrew Woodhouse at the death.
Oh, that's the damage model. Wow, well, huge damage right there for Hereford. I wonder if you get a replay of what happened to him at the final corner. And I'm a bit concerned. It's Guinness who's once again... Oh, well, if we can... Yeah, rewind that a little bit because that's another contact for Guinness and another time that Bogler gets past him as well on the run to the line. Bogler, I wonder if he designed that Livy of Guinness because he spent the entirety of race 2 and race 3 sat behind it admiring it, but yeah, almost a carbon copy of the end of race 2, albeit not for quite as lucrative positions. 166 behind. I think, was it a tap and then the spin? Oh, maybe that was net code. Not sure what the stewards will look at it. If Hereford feels like it should be reported, and yeah, Bogler does the same thing as race 2 and gains a couple of places on the last corner.
Yeah, Bogler's definitely, he's profited from his own teammate there as well. I mean, what a dramatic end to all the races for Corentin Guinness. It's an interesting one there, Sam, because there definitely was contact, but not so much that you would expect a car to go firing into the barrier like that. But unfortunately for Oyston Hereford, he pays the price. So, now we're looking at our race 2 results right now. So we will bring up race 3. There they go. Carl Janssen then, our winner by 2.5 seconds in the end from George Simmons. Damien Harris getting another podium finish. A good drive for the fiercely forward driver. Attila Tassi was 4th, followed by Vasily Zaitsev. Kieran Harrison completing a strong day at Oran Park. Marcel Tai was 7th, followed by Roman Bogler. Corentin Guinness, Igor Sherikov, Mikael Garcia, Jason Cooper, Hub Etterman, Jack Cedric, and Oyston Hereford running 8th position until the very last corner. Unlucky for the Norwegian. Marcel Fritsch wins in the AM class, just edging out Andrew Woodhouse for class honours, with Nathan Davies in 3rd in class, 18th overall, followed by Adam Bath, Fraser Smith, Toby Ward, Jay Austin, Ben Gregory, Jake Robertson, Martin Shirley, Mark Woodhouse, Tim Perry, and Stu Abbott. 29th was Robert Roon, followed by Sergei Glazkov, Baron Glover, Jack Tingy, Luke Kidsley, Andrew Brema, Mark Johnson, Arjen Bakker, Daniel Nagy, Adam Hadfield, and John Billingsley, rounding out our 39 runners here today at Oran Park. Well, Sam, I know that this circuit might not be the top of everybody's wish list, but I have to say that was thoroughly entertaining.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Race 2 was a bit chaotic, particularly at the start, but race 3 and race 1 in particular was pretty clean. So yeah, that was good. We don't visit this place too often. I don't remember the last time we visited this place in this series. So certainly the first time ARLTC history. Not sure about BSRTC. So back then it's a free circuit. Great to see this place in action a little bit more than it was a few months back.
Indeed, yes, it is brilliant to see it, and often you see the Mazdas in the Rookie Cup going here a lot. So if you want to take part in the Apex Racing League Mazda Cup, do so, because you got lots of opportunity to get a bit of race practice. Now, we have two eager beavers in our interview waiting area, Sam. We have Adam Bath and Andrew Woodhouse. Who would you like to speak to first?
Ooh, that is a trick because they both did really well. I'll have a chat with Woody first up because he did really well in race 3 in particular, but also a valiant effort in race 2. Woody, well, welcome back to the championship. Didn't seem like you had missed a meeting because, well, that's probably your most competitive meeting of the season. Would you agree?
Yeah, hello, guys. Well, I'd say it didn't start off that way. No, I was woeful in practice and qualifying, but once the race got going, I think we definitely made some progress. I know Adam was a bit frustrated that he was taken out of race 2 because I think he could have probably got top 5 in that one. So yeah, we seem to do quite well. But I've missed 3 weeks with had an arm injury 1 week, and then I had COVID-19 for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, it's been a bit of a strange couple of months, but I'm glad to be back, and yeah, I'm glad to be I was in the thick of it, wasn't I, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, talk us through your race 2 start. I mean, my God, 5th to 1st in 2 corners, I think.
Yeah, it was a good start. I got the revs right. The initial getaway was good, not much wheel spin at all, and then the second phase of the start was perfect. And for some reason, I thought I was a lot closer to the guy in the lead than I actually was. But I thought, well, I've got the momentum. I know what speed I can carry. I know what I can get away with, and yeah, just about got it stopped and made it work around the outside. And I was just driving sloppily out. It's been so long since I've been in the lead of an ARL TC race that I was shaking and my hands were going, and I was just being sloppy. And then when Fraser got there, I've apologised to Fraser because I think it cost him the victory there. But I tried to stay far enough away from him as I could, and I got a wheel on the grass, and then I tried to save it. I thought maybe it might keep it away from him, but no, just too much grip, and unfortunately we both ended up in the gravel.
Yeah, that was a shame on that one, but you still scored some decent points, got a decent start for race 3 as well, and you had a pretty good battle for the amateur race win. Yourself and Marcel seemed pretty evenly matched. Marcel just getting the upper hand in the end. What was that race 3 like?
Yeah, he's a good driver. Is Marcel? I'm actually surprised to find out that he's an AM. Actually, I didn't realise. He's very good, but yeah. It's a fist fight out there, boys. I tell you, around here, that is the most kind of close quarters racing I've had in a long time. Yeah, and you just got to be so. I mean, you must have seen a couple of times I went slightly wide, maybe, or I had to go too wide through a chicane, and literally 3, 4, 5 cars came past, and I'm there just thinking, oh my God, what is happening here? But I'm very, very happy. I didn't think when I qualified, I literally qualified last of all the people who set a time. My qualifying was terrible, and I didn't remotely think I had a chance of finishing, getting a couple of top 20s in, so I'm very pleased.
Next up, we stay in Australia. It's Bathurst. Is that one that you like?
Oh, hell. I don't hate it, but I'm not very good there. So we'll see. We'll see what can happen, but I think we've got a good car. It's just whether we keep it out of the walls or not, which historically, as you know, I'm not particularly good at. So, you know, we'll see. I think we've gained some good points today. It's the first time, like I say, in quite a few weeks that we've been together in the race meeting. Adam's had a bit of a different setup tonight than his normal one, but I mean he raced fantastically well as well when he could. So I think Bathurst, it's going to be like tonight. It's going to be a bit of a fist fight, and it's going to be survival.
Yeah, I think so. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Woody?
Yeah, just to Adam, really. We've been teammates for quite a long time now, so yeah, always good fun to race with him. Thanks to George and Ben and Toby as well, who's given us a bit of a hand earlier on. And I might have missed somebody out there, so I'm sorry if I have. And a chap called Steve Nash as well. We were going to try and get his logo on the car. Not that Steve Nash, if you're wondering, but we were going to try and get his logo on the car, but we couldn't quite get it in time. So we may officially have a sponsor next week.
Awesome. But will the team name still be the same? I see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
We don't mind. It's too good to lose that after a few weeks.
You need to trademark it. It's absolute genius.
I'll get the Red Bull lawyers marching through my door no doubt.
Yeah. Thanks for having a chat with us, Woody. We'll see you next week.
Oh, it's a pleasure, boys. Thank you.
Andrew Woodhouse there. By the way, I think we forgot to mention them earlier on, but thanks to Apex Racing Academy for also sponsoring this broadcast. Apex Racing Academy with 29 data sets from data packs. Apologies, dear me. From road racing and rallycross racing as well. Single seaters, prototypes, all sorts. Coaching from some of the best drivers on iRacing, such as Peter Bayman and Kevin Ellis and Johan Hart as well, all World Championship drivers. You can take their setups from the official series in lots of different iRacing championships, and get driving tutorials and group sessions and one-on-one sessions as well. So check out apexracingac.com for more details on that.
Indeed, a good idea to get those lap times down. Well, why don't we have a wee chat with Ben Gregory, someone we haven't had in the commentary booth for quite some time, certainly in my memory. So let's get him in. Ben Gregory, welcome to the Apex Racing TV commentary box. How did you enjoy that day out there at Oran Park?
Mixed. I'll put it as that. Honestly, I felt this was a little bit more argy-bargy than it needed to be. For me, a little bit as well. I feel really bad about the net code in the back of Glasgow in race 1, which I felt awful about. Like, he braked a little bit early, tried to jink out of the way, but because it took out my teammate. Then, race 3, again, just argy-bargy, people getting bit over aggressive on the track, which is a bit hard to pass on. I think it's, but move on ever upwards to Bathurst at least.
Indeed, of course, with Bathurst next week for the championship, a little bit more room to roam, a little bit more spread out than Oran Park, but can get pretty tight over the mountain. What are your preparations between now and next week? Are you going to do the 12 hours of Bathurst on Saturday in preparation?
Oh no, I did plenty of that. I've done more than enough GT3 at Bathurst in another league, so I'm gonna take a bit of a break from GT3, I think, for a while. If I'm gonna do any practice, it would just be probably just against the AI. It's just dodging traffic, I think. So that'll be quite a good bit of practice, I think.
You are the AI minions to practice with as well. Brilliant stuff. Now, Ben, how so far? I mean, we're approaching the midway part of the season. What have your what's your kind of assessment of your season so far?
Shockingly good. I didn't expect to be leading the points again like I did last season for the first half. Like Mark Woodhouse has been absolutely on my backside the entire time. So I've been terrified because I know for a fact eventually he will pass me because it's Mark and he's quick. But hoping to all the gods that I can hold him off at all. But it's been a great title fight at the moment, and I'm hoping it goes all the way to the final round. Honestly, I'd love to have it properly down to the wire again.
Well, so do we. That would be a lot of fun to call it. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people behind your assault on the AM Championship here in ARLTC. Before we let you go, Ben, who would you like to say hello to here on Apex Racing TV?
Mostly thanks to the two teammates, Toby Ward, Tim Perry, the Boosted guys for giving us support as well. It's been nice to have. It's been awesome to have everyone around and have a good team that gets on with each other and seems pretty quick as well.
Well, Ben, thank you very much for coming in to have a chat with us, and all the best of luck next week at Bathurst.
Thank you very much.
So that was Ben Gregory, and I think we've got time for one more, Sam. How about I hand you over to our esteemed colleague, Adam Bath.
Hello, guys.
Yes. Hello, Adam. Well done out there. 20th, a 36th, and a 19th tonight. Qualifying as well was really good. Is that your best qualifying of the season?
Yeah, it was, and there was a whole lot of things that went into that. My PC has died at home, so I am racing from the Red Bull Racing Esports Arena that people may have seen on social, so direct drive and triple screen. So this was all a first for me tonight, and qualifying was surprisingly good considering I only had about 20 minutes of practice with all that. So, and I'd barely driven Oran Park either. So going into the free races, it was kind of tough.
That is pretty cool. Who else is there then? I'm not familiar with this arena, but like, are there lots of other rigs kind of laid out? Are you by yourself there?
So yeah, we've got several play seats set up for F1 2020, and then we've got one big endurance rig, I think they call it, for stuff like iRacing. So yeah, that's what we're racing on tonight.
Awesome. Well, like I said, qualifying was great, so it seemed to serve you well. Then race 2, we didn't actually see it off. Just as you crashed, there were about 3 other crashes all happening at the same time, so you didn't catch it. What happened? I think it was lap 2 on that race 2.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing, really, because I had a good result in race 1, and with the reverse grid, I think that it had set us up for a good rest of the evening. But Nathan Davis and myself collided on the exit of turn 2, and that put us both at the back of the grid for race 3, unfortunately. But still, yeah, race 3 was a good comeback. I mean, starting, where did we start? We started 36th and to get to 19th place in the end. So I'm quite happy with that.
Absolutely. And then we've got Bathurst coming up. Your teammate Woody wasn't too convinced by Bathurst, but you looking forward to that one?
Well, it depends what I'm racing on. I think if I've got the Logitech G920 back, then I should be all right. But if the PC hasn't arrived by then, the new PC, then it looks like I'll be still on this direct drive wheel, and that plus Bathurst does put a little bit of fear into the back of my mind. So I may need to get on the practice for that, because that's going to be a really tough 3 races next week.
Absolutely. On that direct drive, I guess you're not used to the direct drive. I mean, did you have any shunts there where the wheel became particularly violent, or did you avoid any of that?
Well, if this is any indication, I've got the force feedback set on 12%, and I think that was just about bearable. The bump just before the right-hander you go onto the bridge was particularly brutal as the evening went along. So to be fair, I think that shunt in race 2 probably did me the world of good, because my hands were starting to suffer.
Well done out there, Adam. It's always great to see you out on circuit. Is there anyone you'd like to give any thanks to?
Well, big shout out to the Red Bull guys for letting me use this space today, and also to Steve Nash Promotions, who we hopefully will have on the car next week. I know I bigged him up last time at Road Atlanta about all of that, and I know Woody's given giving him a shout out. But yeah, hopefully next week we will have the new paint livery for you. So hopefully that will make some headlines on the mountain next week.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for having a chat with us, Adam, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you soon, guys.
Adam Bath there for Scuderia Alpha Touring Car, getting some decent results once again out on track.
He did, yeah. He continues to impress, and not easy to jump into a sim where you're a little bit unfamiliar, but best of gear anyway, having a go on the direct drive wheel, which I've heard are very, very cool to use. So that's about all we have time for tonight here on Apex Racing TV. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast here from Oran Park Raceway, where we're treated to 3 superb races. We'll be back same time next week, 8 p.m. GMT on Apex Racing TV for the next round at Bathurst, which is sure to be a cracker. Don't miss it. We'll see you there.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.